Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I'm going to share with you a little bit of a book haul. Okay, so I have a little bit of everything to share with you today. I have a used book. I went to an indie bookstore recently, and I am going to share with you everything I bought there. I have a couple of books a book that I pre-ordered. I have something that was sent to me by a publisher, a gift from a friend, some new books, and then I also have a big box of book outlet books to share with you. So let's just kind of get into this. And yeah, I am going to start with the book that was sent to me by a publisher, and that is Made of Stars by Jenna Voris. This is a YA sci-fi book. It says, inspired by the lawless love story of Bonnie and Clyde, it is a heart-stopping tale of passion and crime that will have you seeing stars. Two renegades who take shady interplanetary relations into their own hands, a conflicted flight school valedictorian caught in the middle, and the chase across space that threatens everything they believe. That sounds exactly like something I would love. I love sci-fi, and I really enjoy YA sci-fi, so I'm very excited for this one, and I would like to thank Penguin Random House for sending this my way. I'm very excited to read this, and this comes out in March of 2023, so I will let you know what I think of it when I get to it. All right, next I would like to share with you a book that was sent to me by a friend. The Best Worst Summer by Elizabeth Eulberg. This was sent to me so kindly by Belle from Belle's Middle Grade. I love this book so much, and I'm so excited to have it on my shelves. This is a contemporary / historical fiction middle grade book about best friends. It centers around a girl in Minnesota or Wisconsin who finds a time capsule in her backyard, and she decides she wants to kind of figure out where this came from, and so you get flashbacks into the 1990s from that when that time capsule was buried. And I love this book. It was so nostalgic. It was so much fun, and it had such great messages about friendship in it. And so I am so excited to have this on my shelves. Thank you so much, Belle, for sending this my way. You are so sweet and such a great friend, and I love it. All right, a book that I purchased new. I have a couple of them. I went ahead and ordered a copy of Abby Jimenez's most recent book, Part of Your World. This is a book that I've already read. I read it a month or two ago, and I just could not stop thinking about it and how happy it made me, and I knew I wanted it for my shelves, so I went ahead and ordered it. This is a age gap romance that follows a mid-30s doctor and a mid-20s kind of owner, I guess, in rural Minnesota, and just kind of the very unlikely relationship that spawns between the two of them. And I loved this book so much. I laughed so hard. I thought it was fantastic, and I am so excited to have that for my shelves. And then when I ordered that, I also ordered another book that was recommended to me by a friend. So in real life, I have a lot of friends that read, and I'll talk to them about books and such. And one of my friends mentioned this book, Old Man's War by John Scalzi. And this was recently after I had read the Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi. And so I was like, wait a minute, I just read a book by him and I really enjoyed it. And so she was raving about this one, and I just could not help myself. This is basically about a world where they stop having kids, and so everybody is elderly, and there's this war going now, and the main protagonist is 75, and he joins the army, and it's like I don't know if it's an interplanetary thing or what it is, but I know it has to do with elderly people in a kind of sci-fi world, and so it sounded really good, and I am excited to read it. And then another one that I bought new kind of randomly, I was at Hobby Lobby for, I don't even remember why, and I was looking through their clearance section, and they had Patty Callahan's Once Upon a Wardrobe on clearance for $6, so I just grabbed it. This is her, I think it came out last winter last fall, something like that, and it has to do with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and C.S. Lewis, and it has to do with a girl whose like dying brother wants her to find C.S. Lewis and kind of learn more about Narnia, and as she gets to talking to C.S. Lewis, she kind of realizes more about her life, something along those lines. So yeah, but it sounded really interesting, so I went ahead and grabbed that one for just a few dollars. All right. And then, let me put these over here. I pre-ordered a book, and it just came from Book Depository. It depends where I order, when I pre-order books, where I get them from. But I have really been enjoying kind of looking on Book Depository for things and looking for different covers sometimes of different things or different formats. Sometimes you can get them, like books that are only in hardback in the US, you can still find a paperback copy on Book Depository. And so I've been enjoying that. But I recently pre-ordered Dan Gemeinhardt's new book, The Midnight Children, which, I mean, this is just so pretty, the foiling on it. This has to do with a truck. Okay, hold on. I gotta check the naked hardback to see if there's anything on it. There's not. But it says, in the dead of night, a truck arrives in Slaughterville, a small town curiously named after its windowless slaughterhouse. 7 mysterious kids with suitcases step out of the vehicle and into an abandoned home on a dead-end street, looking over their shoulders to make sure they are not noticed. When timid and lonely Ravani Foster covertly witnesses their arrival from his bedroom window, he is eager to learn everything he can about his new neighbors. What secrets are they hiding? And most mysterious of all, where are the adults? Amid this shadowy group of children, Ravani finds an unexpected friend in the warm and gusty Virginia. But with his friendship comes secrets revealed and danger. When Ravani learns of a threat to his new friends, he must fight to keep them safe or lose the only person who has ever understood him. Dan Gemeinhardt is the author of The Remarkable Journey. That's it. The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise, which I loved. I also have read another book by him. I can't remember the name of it now off the top of my head. But I am so excited to have his most recent one and read it. This is middle grade. Yeah, I'm just excited. So that was the book that I pre-ordered. Okay, I'm going to dig into this book outlet box. So I ordered this box after our BookTube Besties virtual reading retreat. If you are not aware, myself, along with my 3 BookTube besties, Christopher Books and Jam, Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, and Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, hosted a virtual reading retreat in August where for like 24 hours we held different events and reading sprints, and it was so much fun. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun. But it definitely caused me to order some books. So this book outlet box is a direct result of that. But also, I ordered a book used, and I wanted to share that with you really quick. We had 2 different time slots during our reading retreat where everybody that was present was able to recommend a book. And one of the books that was recommended was Yukon Wild by Beth Johnson. This is an out-of-print non-fiction book with very little writing, and it is about it was about a group of women who, it says the adventures of 4 women who paddled 2,000 miles through America's last frontier. So they go down a river, I believe, and it's kind of told in diary format. But the person that recommended this said that it was so funny and lovely and full of nature, and it just made me very curious about it. And so I went ahead and ordered it off of a used book website because, like I said, it's out of print, but I'm excited to dig into this and see what I think. So that's the first book that I ordered because of our retreat. And then I also ordered my book outlet box. So let's get into that. Okay. The first book, I'm just going to kind of dig into these as they are. Sorry if you can hear my neighbor mowing, but this is the time slot that I have to film, so we're just going with it. I got The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Wine. This was the last of her books that I don't own yet. She wrote, what was the one that I read? The Code Name Verity. She wrote, oh my goodness, I can't talk, wrote Code Name Verity, which is a World War II historical fiction. And then she has a set of, I think there's 4 of them total that are all, I don't know if they're all World War II, but this was the last one that I didn't have yet. And so I went ahead and grabbed that. I got a middle grade Echo Mountain by Lauren Woke. She also wrote Wolf Hollow and Beyond the Bright Sea. I've read Wolf Hollow, have not read Beyond the Bright Sea, but I own them both. And so I thought I would add this to the collection. I love that cover. This one is set during the Great Depression, so that's fun. I got this copy of The Summer of the Swans by Betsy Byers. I have these Puffin Modern Classic editions of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, and the My Side of the Mountain, and I really, really like them, and so I thought that this was just so pretty. I don't even know what Summer of the Swans is about, but it's the winner of a Newbery Medal, so that's fun. I mostly just got that one for the cover. All right, I got A More Perfect Union by Tammy Huff. This one is inspired by true events. It's an epic story of love and courage, desperation, determination, and 3 people whose lives are inescapably entwined. America, 1919. I cannot read, guys. 1848. To escape the famine in Ireland, Henry O'Toole sails to America only to face anti-immigrant prejudice. Determined never to starve again, he changes his surname to Taylor and heads south to Virginia, seeking work as a traveling blacksmith. And then it also has to do with a woman on a plantation. Sarah must navigate an intricate hierarchy on the plantation, and now there's an enigmatic blacksmith is promising her not just the world but also her freedom. How could she say no? And then there's another person enslaved on the plantation as well. It just sounded so good, so I picked that one up. I got When the Summer Was Ours by Roxanne Veletzos. This is by the same author as The Girl Who Was Left Behind, which I just recently read as part of a 5-star prediction video. But this is set in Hungary in 1943. And yeah, so the other one was set in Romania, like kind of during World War II and post World War II, and this one is set in Hungary, and so I'm very interested to see how this one's going to compare to Roxanne Veletzos' other book. I got a copy of 5 Children and It by E. Nesbitt. This is one, I have a lot of these Puffin, what are they called? Puffin Classics. I don't know. I have a whole collection of them up on my shelves that I get from Book Outlet when they're really, really cheap. And so this I think was like $2 or less. And I'm just going to add it to that shelf. And kind of that's the way that I collect my classics. I got A Sky Painted Gold. I love this cover so much by Laura Wood. And this spine is awesome as well. But this is, it says, I Capture the Castle meets a Gatsby. It's set during the 1930s, and that's really all I know about it. I don't know much about this book at all. I first heard about this book on Darlene Desi's channel a long time ago, and I've had it on my want to read list ever since, but really that cover is kind of what just got me. So I got that. And then I got, the rest of these are all books that were recommended during our reading retreat. So the first one is Be Frank With Me by Julia Claiborne Johnson. This has to do with a reclusive literary legend who wrote a novel at 19 and hasn't been seen or heard from much since. And then she has an editorial assistant that is kind of sent to help her, and she instead finds that her primary job is to be a companion to Mimi's 9-year-old son, who is very eccentric, and that's Frank. And she just kind of, he always dresses like a 1930s movie star and things like that, and it's more about like this little boy and then this, I don't know. But the person who recommended this raved about it, and it sounded super, super good, so I'm willing to give it a try. Another one that was recommended during our retreat is Light from Other Stars by Erica Swiler. This is a sci-fi, I believe. And it says that 11-year-old Netta Pappas is obsessed with becoming an astronaut. In 1986, in Easter, a small Florida space coast town. Her dreams seem almost within reach if she can just grow up fast enough. And then decades later, she's realized her long held ambition and is traveling aboard a spaceship, part of a small group hoping to colonize a distant planet. I'm not really sure what this is about, but it's another one that was highly recommended during that trip. And then also by the same author, I got the Book of Speculation. And this has to do with, I believe, some sort of circus, something or another. It says, Dear Mr. Watson, I came across this book at an auction as part of a larger lot I purchased on speculation. The damage renders it useless to me, but a name inside it led me to believe it might be of interest to you or your family. And so, yeah, I don't know. It has to do something with this special book. I don't know, but that cover, I couldn't say no. So those are the books that I got from Book Outlet. All right, moving on. The last kind of grouping of books that I want to share with you today are all of the books that I got from my local indie bookstore. So, over the course of the last couple of weeks, I've been, like I said, spending a lot of time with the kids. And one of the things that we did is that we went to an indie bookstore that I've been wanting to go to for a very, very long time. We visited the Red Balloon Bookshop in St. Paul, Minnesota. And it's not super far from me, but far enough to where I have to be intentional to go to it. And so we stopped in there and came away with quite the book haul. So, I got books mostly for my kids. I had 3 of my 4 kids with me at the time that we went. And one of the things that was kind of fun that the bookstore had was they had a cart at the front of the store that was pay what you can, or pay what you're able, or I don't know, I think it's pay what you can. And they had mystery arcs. So they had arcs that were wrapped up in brown paper, and they would tell you the age range of it and whether it was fiction or nonfiction, and that's all you knew. And then it was just kind of pay what you can sort of thing. And so myself, along with my 2 daughters, one of them is 9. How old is she now? 9. And then one is 11. They each picked out a book, and then I picked out a book. And so the books that we got from our little ARC mystery books, I got Queen of the Tiles by Hannah Alkoff. This is a YA book, and it has to do with a girl who walks into her first Scrabble competition since her best friend's death to heal, and then she kind of gets these cryptic messages suggesting that maybe her best friend's death was not an accident, something along those lines, but it has to do with Scrabble. I mean, come on, guys. That's perfection. It just sounds like so much fun. It's probably going to be pretty hooky, but that's okay. One of my girls got art. What is this? It is Families Against Rotten Teens. And it basically says that Families Against Rotten Teens has nothing to do with gas. I'm onto some terrifying discoveries about all parents. It turns out there's a super secret manual they've been passing down since the beginning of time that gives them ways to control our every move. And so it's just kind of like this manual that is kind of, I think, teens. I don't know. I don't know if we'll be keeping this. Let's just say that. All right, next. We got High Score. This is by Destiny Howell. My 11-year-old got this, and it actually seems pretty cool. It has to do with an arcade, and someone at an arcade, like this group of friends has to like all get together to defeat a bully by doing something at an arcade, I think. I don't know, but it seemed like something that my older girls would be interested in, so that was kind of fun. And then, okay, so those were the arcs that we got. For my 4-year-old son, I was able to pick up 2 dinosaur books. He is going through a massive dinosaur phase right now. This was on the pay what you can, but it wasn't wrapped up. It's just a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Ted Reiklin? I don't know. But it is kind of a graphic novel type, and he loves paging through these and just kind of looking at the dinosaurs and naming the dinosaurs and watching the dinosaurs attack each other, because what 4-year-old boy doesn't love that? And then, so that was on the pay what you can shelf. And then the book that I actually like paid full price for is Book of Dinosaurs, 10 Record-Breaking Prehistoric Animals by Gabrielle Balkin. This book is so cool. So what it is there's 10 different, like, guess who, and it shows you the skeleton, and then it gives you all these different clues about what the dinosaur is, and then it shows you the dinosaur and tells you about it. But then you can kind of see right there, the glare on it, you can see the skeleton inside the dinosaur. It's so much fun, and it has his favorite dinosaur, which is the Spinosaurus, is in here, and so we had to get it because of that. But you can see that glare. If the sun will hit this right, maybe not, but you can see their skeleton, and it's tactile, you can feel where their skeleton would be in there. And so it's just such a cool, beautifully illustrated book that I loved so much, and so I got this for him. So yeah, and then for my 9-year-old, she's going into 3rd grade, and she has been one, I call her my reluctant reader. She's been struggling with reading for a while. That's just something that she struggles with, and so I kind of went overboard with her, because anytime I can get her in a spot where there's books around and I can get her excited about books, I try so hard to get her excited about books. And so I let her pick out quite a few. We got the first 2 books in Pizza and Taco. So we got Pizza and Taco, Who's the Best, and Pizza and Taco, Best Party Ever. So these are just like, they're kind of graphic novel-esque, very simple to read books. So we got 2 of those. She's kind of been showing an interest in some mysteries. So we picked up Christie and Agatha's Detective Agency, A Discovery Disappears. And so this is kind of an earlier reader chapter book. It has some illustrations in it, and it has to do with a Alexander Fleming. Somebody ate one of his discoveries because it ended up inside of something, and they ate it. We got another mystery, The Secret Spy Society, The Case of the Missing Cheetah by Veronica Mang. When we were in there looking, somebody else that was looking at books said that these were amazing. This is the first one in a series. The illustrations all have this like yellow and gray design to them. But she said that her kids loved this series, and so I gave in and tried that one. And then a chapter book that we ended up getting because it sounded cute to me, and I will probably end up reading this one to her. I don't know if she's gonna, she might be able to read some of this, is Luma and the Pet Dragon by Leah Muhammad. This is about a girl who, for her birthday, I believe, for her 7th birthday, she gets a pet dragon, but everybody else only sees a pet dog. But really it's a pet dragon. And so it just sounded really cute. And so we ended up picking this one up as well. It has illustrations in it as well. And so it's a little bit of a longer chapter book, but the words are still a little bigger, bigger margins, that sort of thing. So it seems like it'll be a good fit for her. So we're going to try that one as well. And then I picked up a book for my 11-year-old. She picked out a graphic novel called Twin Cities by Jose Pimienta. I picked it up because it said Twin Cities on it, and we live near the Twin Cities, but this is not about Minnesota in any way, shape, or form. It has to do with twins, Teresa and Fernando, who basically decide that they are going to go to different schools, and Teresa is crossing the U.S.-Mexico border every day to do that, and just kind of what that does to their relationship as twins. But this is the kind of the graphic novel style of it. Amelia, my 11-year-old, read the first few pages of this at the bookstore and enjoyed it, and so we ended up picking that one up. And then I picked up 2 books for myself. The first one was a bargain book. It was like $4. And this is Forward Me Back to You by Matali Perkins. This sounded really, really good. It has to do with a reigning teen jiu-jitsu champion of Northern California, but she's having trouble fighting off the secrets of her past. And then another boy was adopted from an orphanage in India and is reluctant to take on his future. If he can't find his roots, how can he possibly pick a college? And then they meet because they find themselves signing up for a summer service trip to Calcutta to work with survivors of human trafficking. And as bonds build among the travelers, both teens discover that justice and healing are intertwined. Like the pain in their pasts and their hopes in their future, the only way for Kat or Robin to move forward might just be to be in service to each other. So that sounded so interesting to me. And I've heard of Matali Perkins. I actually have a couple of her books, but I haven't read her before. And so I grabbed that one. And then the last book that I have to share with you today is the last one that I got from my indie bookstore, and that is Two Nights in Lisbon by Chris Pavoni. I think that's how you say his name. This, I just love the cover. I was trying to decide what book I wanted to get from the indie bookstore, and I was like, I was combing the shelves trying to decide which one I wanted, and this ended up being it. I've heard so many really good things about this book, but this is set in Lisbon, and it's basically about this woman who wakes up and her husband is gone with no warning, no note, not answering his phone, and she knows something is wrong. And then she like basically gets digging into it, and she's increasingly frustrated and desperate, running out of time, and the one person in the world who can help is the person she least wants to ask. It's a thriller, I know that, and I've heard really, really, really good things about it, so I bought it because also the cover and the colors on this. I love these colors together. Okay, so that's it. Those are all of the books that I have brought into my home recently. If you have read any of these, if you have thoughts or opinions about any of these, I would love it if you would let me know that down in the comment section down below. I will also link the Red Balloon Bookshop's website down below if you have any interest in supporting them. They are an indie bookstore in St. Paul, Minnesota, they're just wonderful, and their shop is so wonderful and so cute. And yeah, I will also have linked down below my book outlet link. So if you would like to purchase from Book Outlet, please feel free to do so through that link. You will get a discount on your first order. And then I will also get a couple of dollars in rewards so that I can continue purchasing books and sharing them with all of you. So that's gonna do it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you stick around and subscribe, and until next time, see ya.